Now we will talk about interventionism. Actually, interventionism includes the political, economics, and medicine. With regard to economics, government doesn't assume any responsibility. People alone are responsible. The government is not an individual person. The concept that government is responsible causes people to track down any answer in wrong direction, since it hints that government constitutes a collective entity. It lends support to the idea that something comes into existence, in addition to the millions of individuals who make up entire society. What do we intend to achieve by governmental means? Providing we work at conventional functions according to American government, they become clear in a very straightforward manner. The main function assigned to government at all times lie in maintaining law and order. Then the government is except to defend our nation against foreign interventions and to make preparations for the national defense. Moreover, by legislate and similar means, our government strives to formulate a framework of rules where we function and to abide by constructs that we assign of our own accord with each other. Following that, the government is empowered to provide a judiciary that is likely to resolve any dispute or disagreement that may come into being. Next, the government is authorized not only to furnish a common medium to exchange, but also to devise a monetary system. Finally, a paternalist element. The government is required to offer a system to people who are not able to take care of themselves, people who live in straitened circumstances. In the past 5 decades, is that the role of government has been expanded to a great extent. It is known the government has conducted a wider and wider range of activities, especially in the following two areas. One in monetary and economic controls, including governmental regulation, and the other is paternalistic activities. One of the phenomena which arouse considerable interest is that when governmental roles has been broadened by carrying out a wider range of activities that were not a part of functions we assigned to government at any time, it has exercised its traditional functions of maintaining law and order and rendering a framework for a decent society even worse. The depression was not due to the failure of capitalism. Instead, it took place owing to failure of government policy and management. The Great Depression was brought into being by mistake made by the Federal Reserve Board in allowing the quantity of money to decrease by 1/3. However, it backed up the belief that government was obliged to be in place, manipulating these dials in order to bolster economic stability, full employment, stable price, and all other Rather than an era of economic stability, we have seen a time of the ebb and flow of rising inflation by degrees of instability and of the so-called discussing stagflation. The New Deal was a group of social liberal programs including both laws passed by Congress and the President Roosevelt's executive orders launched in America between 1933 and 1938. The program relieving the unemployed and the poor, restoring the economic to normal level, and reforming the financial system to head off a similar depression, served as a response to the Great Depression. It functions as a successful case of governmental intervention. The New Deal strengthened the intervention in the economic in a direct and indirectly manners and eased the Great Depression. In case of conversion, one party profits and the other party suffers. That is in sharp contrast with the free market in which both parties to the exchange gains. The defining features of virtually all forms of state interventions are: first, they are enforced under the guise of good, then they have the tendency to redistribute income in favor of the more preferred, then they smack of corruption by the state. A number of free enterprise advocates argue for a need for limited government, define service as a criterion that is a determinant of the limit. To put it another way, government is compulsory and positively beneficial so long as it is restricted to define life, liberty, and property. A government which is limited to exercising a defined function can have a quota system. Therefore, in a few situations in which the market mechanism is not an ideal regulator, a person who loses because of fraud or the negligence of any businessman is likely to seek compensation by way of that quota system. In the free enterprise system, tragedies occur by way of political regulation. However well-intentioned, tragedies are still unavoidable. Thank you. A government which is limited to exercising a defined function can have a quota system. Therefore, in a few situations in which the market mechanism is not an ideal regulator, a person who loses because of fraud or the negligence of any businessman is likely to seek compensation by way of that quota system. In the free enterprise system, tragedies occur by way of political regulation. However well-intentioned, tragedies are still unavoidable. Thank you.